how important do you think it is for younger people to really get out of their hometown, to build that perspective? What does that do for someone, and at what point do you know that it's time to find a new environment and build better relationships?
Yeah, no, I think people should travel. Now, I watch how I say travel, because I don't want some kid stopping everything he's doing to go backpack across Europe. Go to LA for a weekend, feel it. See the guy pass you in a Lambo. See the guy in the Ferrari. And we just had this conversation when we were getting gas. Fuck Ferraris, fuck Lambos, fuck money. But the freedom, what freedom it could have, or what it could be for you if you were to achieve some level of success and stayed in your hometown. But to be able to snap that pattern, I think it's a good idea to leave and spend a few days in an exciting place, and for nothing more than to go be in it and even work in it. For example, if I was 20 years old right now and I wanted to start any kind of internet business or anything, I'd come to Miami for a weekend. I would live in kind of monk mode, but I'd sit at that Starbucks downstairs in this building and watch how many 10 out of 10s roll by in an hour. And you'd be like, oh my God, there's really beautiful women in this world. You know what I'm saying? I'd watch me drive by my Lamborghini, and be like, man, that guy must have figured out somehow. He's still pretty young. What the fuck? You know what I'm saying? And you get around these things, and then it's not so foreign to you. So I think putting yourself around energy, cities have souls. I'm a big believer. And the first time I learned that is I lived in New Orleans for a little while. And everything that's broken about New Orleans is what makes it beautiful. It's kind of haunted, it's kind of artistic, it's kind of weird, it's kind of like Austin a bit. But it has a soul to it, and that soul is inspirational. And a lot of times to get inspiration, even I in my 20s would go to LA, I'd go to Denver, I'd go to Utah, I'd go to all these different places and breathe in this air from an atmosphere that had a lot of people moving and shaking, and cities have life. And I would go back home inspired to hopefully be able to put myself in a position to do it again. And so getting out of your hometown is going to give you so much consciousness and understanding about how your world is completely different than the world in Miami. And the world in Dubai is completely different than the world in Ohio and in Miami. And so to go all these different places and understand not only what's different, but also in a lot of ways what is the same. One thing I got from hanging steel all over the place is I quickly realized that Mobile, Alabama and Baton Rouge, Louisiana is basically the same shit, different town. And it humanizes societies for you, where you're like, okay, well, if I do this in this place, it'll certainly work over here because it's really the same avatar of person. You get off the interstate, there's a fucking Target right there, there's a Ross's and a Texas Roadhouse and a Chili's, and you're like, wait a second. If I can succeed in my hometown, I can succeed anywhere. And I think that's very important for people to see and understand. So that's actually why I like the job of a truck driver for a young man, because you see the same shit again and again and again and again. And if you meet a girl in Boston, well, she's gonna have a Boston accent, but she's no different from a girl in Louisiana. Really at her core, She's still got live, laugh, love in her bathroom. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, she does. Yeah, she does. I'll tell you a funny story. I was in Odessa, Ukraine, and I met this young lady, and we decided to go home for Bible study because I'm a man of God. And I walk in her bathroom to take a piss, and I looked at the wall, and it said live, laugh, love on it. I'm like, this girl doesn't even speak English, bro. And she's like, she doesn't speak English because it was a Google Translate. And I'm just like, people are the same. Yeah. This is not me making fun of women. Right. Like, people are the same in a lot of ways. It's patternistic, because what's the same is the TV, the social media is the same. The messaging that is out there is the same. Yeah. And so once you understand that, I think in a lot of ways it can give you the ability to realize that if you have any kind of sort of pattern recognition, you can do humongous things with your life. Because for me, when you ask me like where all we hang steel, and I told you I don't give a fuck where it is. You put steel on the moon, I'll call Elon to move the cranes up there. I don't give a fuck, because I'm gonna show up my guys, we're gonna put that steel up the same way no matter where it is, and there's gonna be a fucking Red Roof Inn down the road or a Holiday Inn or whatever, and the guys are gonna stay in the hotel, we're gonna do per diem the same, we're gonna do the job the same, and we're gonna win. So I don't give a fuck where it is. Put the building anywhere. And I think that once people get a certain competency, they'll understand that they could be stripped butt naked and put in any city in America and make money. And it wouldn't matter. And so driving around to other places or visiting other places, I think really puts that in perspective for you, especially as a young guy.
Yeah, I think it's really cool. Like we have, a mentor as well that's told us that he tells young guys all the time, go work valet and talk to the rich people. Like they're not too different from you. They're literally the same.
Bro,
people.
zero different.
Exactly.
Zero different. I got a lot of beef on Barstool Sports because I was talking shit about cooking. And they really made me out to look like a douchebag. Thanks, Barstool. I'm glad they did it. But the truth is, man, it's just because I got a bunch of shit going on. But I used to go to the grocery store all the time. I used to pre-cook my meals. And to be quite honest with you, if I don't know what I want to eat, I'll just go get a rotisserie. It's the best deal in food. It's what, $5, $8, something like that. Get one of those mix-up salads, toss that bitch in a bowl, stir it up, little Caesar, throw some chicken on it, and then eat the rest. And I'll do it just like the rest of you guys watching a fucking YouTube video about something I'm trying to understand, right? We're not that different. We're really not, man. And I think people get that out of whack. A lot of times people assume because somebody made money, they turned into a bad person or they're different. That couldn't be further from the truth. The more people I've met with money, I come to find out that you know what they really are? They're just really hardworking people that wouldn't quit, that were persistent, and they were able to create relationships with other people to work in tandem to reach their goals. A lot of times the rich people are some of the kindest people out there. They've been through the most, they're the most relentless, and they don't need to hurt anybody to make money because they have a skill set that allows them to do it. And they don't need to be rude to you because they knew how many times they got punched in the face on the way up, myself included. Yeah, sometimes being successful is very humbling. You realize, okay, man, I got punched in the face this many times, and that's how many times it took me to make it. So I have a certain reverence about making sure that I don't come across as thinking money is important, because money is just a tool. And it's just something that goes up on the scoreboard when you add value to the world. But I don't think I would be, how do I say this correctly? I don't think if I were giving somebody advice, I would tell them, before you judge somebody that has money, sit down and spend some time with them, see how they treat a waiter. Ask them if they've ever failed. And you'll see a vulnerability come out of them that you wouldn't expect.